Welcome, my friends, to YouTooSpain Live. This week, I'll be welcoming back to the show our regular financial advisor, Lucia from Black Tower, who will be updating us all on what effect the US election result and the UK budget will have on your investments. And we'll have the interest rates forecast. And we'll look at the importance of planning ahead and why to have a Spanish will and much more. It's a packed show today. Join us with questions and comments on the live chat over there or in the comments below, because you are a part of this too. You are welcome to YouTooSpain. Run the theme music and let's dance. That's groovy. And speaking of groovy, let's meet my wonderful guest for today. It's Lucia from Black Tower. Good morning, Lucia.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great today. And yourself down there at you're down right past Malaga you're in Marbella?
Today I'm in Torremolinos.
Oh, yes.
I changed location today. On the same line, but yeah, closer to you, a bit closer.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you back on the show. Lucia, of course, is our favourite financial advisor and is with me on the show every 3 months, I'm happy to say. And also the company Black Tower that she works for are kindly sponsoring this show. So huge thanks to them for their support. It is much appreciated. And once you hear how good Lucia is, then you'll want to get in touch with her at Black Tower via the link in the video description below. And you can also do it through the partner directory page on the YouTooSpain.com website. I highly recommend you do that. And if you go onto the website and sign up to the free newsletter, you can get a free financial report every single month from Lucia as part of that. It's what we call a win-win-win with a cherry on top. So there we go. Let's see who's on the live chat so far. Just one name so far, El Davido. Good morning to you, and hope you enjoy the show and join in. And everybody else, get yourself on the live chat. I know there's more people than that watching, so that is lovely, and you're all very welcome. There'll be lots of people joining throughout the show, and I'll say hello to them as we go along. So tell you what, let's start off while we're waiting for people to come in, and we need to give you an introduction, Lucia, about who you are and what you do, especially for the watchers who've not seen you on the show before. So take it away, and we'll have a little picture of this on as well. There you go. Take it away.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, so for those who are joining first time the show, which I appreciate, it's not much people, so I'm gonna keep that very briefly. I am Lucia Melgarejo. I am financial advisor. I'm Spanish, but I've been working with the international community for my whole professional life for over 20 years. I started over with working for BBVA Private Banking in charge of the international division. So as I said, with expats involving and try to help to make some good solutions and to guide them to their life in Spain since then. I work for Black Tower, and Black Tower is a financial management company that has been established since '86. So it's a long-standing company, and it's a family-run company. We are located in the Costa del Sol in Mijas. We have the office there, but of course we work throughout the whole Spain. We cover every single tiny town or big city. So we are more than happy either to arrange online meetings and also on a face-to-face basis. So that's where we are. Main services that I described there on the chart is wealth management, lump sum investments, regular savings, pensions, and tax planning solution. The last one is the key one to be highlighted here. Tax planning here in Spain is very important. Myself, I am also qualified and regulated from the European Financial Planner Association. That's an exam that somebody that is working for the financial services throughout the European Union and through banks have to take. and I got that back in 2008. And you need to renew that on an annual basis by taking exams, demonstrating that you have been studying, and that your ethics align and comply with current regulations. I also have another exam that allowed me to be advising on insurances, because some of the tax efficient advice vehicles that we give to our clients are within the insurance companies. So I got also that qualification, which is Grupo B from the DGS, which is Dirección General de Seguros. Black Tower, of course, have also the regulations in order to be able to operate in the European Union via Cyprus. So we have the head office in Cyprus, but also we have licenses in Gibraltar, the UK, Cayman Island, the US, Australia, Dubai. So pretty much we are able to provide financial advice to any party that is around the world.
Excellent. We lost a little bit of your sound there. Let's take that off the
Oh,
screen.
really?
Brilliant. Yeah, it just went a bit muffled at the end. It's all right, just when you were talking about the different countries. But that's okay. We heard the most of it. So, and hello to Maria Koo and David Johnson and Trilby Adam. That's a new name for the live chat. Welcome to the show. So, on to the topics of the day. Let's start with a timely reminder of the difference between non-residents and residents tax, because we're getting close to declaration time, aren't we? So tell us what we need to know.
Correct. So our financial tax year is from January till December here in Spain. So 1st of January, 31st of December. We are now approaching the end of the year, so it's time for wrapping up and knowing what we need to do. For somebody that hasn't spent here over 183 days during this calendar year, so 2024, then of course you would be classed as non-resident. Then we need to look at whether you have any asset located in Spain as a non-resident, so your holiday home. Probably you bought your property here in Spain and you coming and going and you're staying here probably 2 months, then going back, and then in overall you spend 4 months and a half, 5 months. So therefore you are non-resident. Then, of course, what you need to do is to complete your non-resident declaration for that holiday home that you have. So that's looked at a second home, of course, and that has tax implications. They are minimal, but of course they have tax implications, and it's something that we need to file. So that's called modelos. So modelos are the name of the name that we give to the forms that we need to complete. So that's modelo 216. It's not on the screen because it's very briefly what I had to say. So I thought just to mention that for somebody that hasn't spent here over 183 days during this calendar year, has a property and has to file the modelo 216, which is non-residency tax for that property. That has to be done per individual. So if that's a joint owned property, that has to be done via person number 1, person number 2, or the number of persons, the people that own that property. What happens if you have spent over 183 days this year, or you will be planning to do so for following years? Those are the ones on the screen are the main modelos, forms that we need to complete. And before that, we still have time, of course, to arrange a couple of some of our taxes and in order to comply with them all. The first one that I wanted to mention is Modelo 720, which is Declaration of Foreign Assets, and that's an obligation that we have as long as we have any assets outside of Spain. We are residents in Spain, we are living in Spain, but we still keep our home, holiday home or second home back in the UK or anywhere else outside of Spain. Or we have investments outside of Spain, or we have companies, any assets in general that are worth over 50,000 euros. value. Total value, 50,000 euros. So we need to look at it to see whether per asset class, which is properties, assets, investments, and companies, pensions, we have over that amount of money, then we have the obligation to declare. It's not a tax that we need to pay. It's just a declaration, it's a form that we need to complete stating that by the 31st of December 2024, we are currently having a property here, an investment there that is worth over 50,000. The deadline for that is the 31st of March 2025. So we have till from the 1st of January, well, the 2nd, let's have the day off, from the 2nd of January till the 31st of March next year. Also, a couple of years ago, there was implemented Modelo 721, which is for cryptocurrency. So that's looked at another asset class, exactly the same. As long as we have over 50,000 euros worth of value in cryptocurrencies, we have to complete that Modelo 721, which is specifically for cryptocurrencies, and we need to declare that. Again, it's a declaration, it's an informative declaration saying that I got X amount of money, over 50,000 of course, and I got that in that platform, and that's it. So that can be completed via your accountant or gestor. Another tax that we have, or our annual tax return, is called Modelo 100. Deadline for that is the end of June next year. It will start probably end of April, beginning of May, and we have till the end of June or beginning of July. Depends how the dates are for the weekends and bank holidays. There we need to declare any income that we have worldwide, no matter whether that's being generated in Australia, in New Zealand, in the States, in the UK. So we need to add them all together and go onto that form, which is Modelo 100, which is our annual tax return. Also, we declare on that annual tax return our capital gains tax. Any gain that we have had from our investments or sale of a property, then is to do with Modelo 100. Roughly, I'm not going to go into the specific percentages that we pay per regions in Spain, because they differ from region to region. So I recommend you to get to understand your situation, where you will be located or where you are located, depending on the region. Again, we have 27 different regions in Spain. But average, it goes from 19% tax up to 47%. It has some scale, so it will increase in the grade of how much you have earned throughout the year. The same with capital gains. We have 19% as minimum and 28% as the maximum, but again, with the scales. Then we have wealth tax, which is a tax that, once again, depending on your regional community that you are going to be located, you will be liable for paying wealth tax. Wealth tax applies to somebody that has over 2 million wealth. Anything to do over those 2 million euros, you would have to complete your Modelo 714 deadline, exactly the same one as Modelo 100, till the end of June next year, from beginning of May. So May, June is the time that we need to complete that. As I said, so from 2 million onwards is when you are liable for that tax, but you have a couple of exemptions here. You have 300,000 exemption per your main residency and per person, of course, and then you have 700,000 exemption on investments per person as well. So anything above that is when you will need to pay, or you're liable for X amount of money to pay on wealth tax, Modelo 714. Briefly and in general, we have the rates go from 0.2% up to 2.5%, again, in scales. Lastly, we got solidarity tax in place since a couple of years. That was implemented because of certain political discussions with wealth tax, to do with wealth tax, but I will skip that for today. Solidarity tax will apply to somebody that whose wealth is over 3 million, and of course it goes on a scale from 1.7% up to 3.5%. Again, all exemptions that I mentioned through wealth tax apply to solidarity tax. If we have paid already our wealth tax because we are over the 2 million, that also gets offset from solidarity tax, and then we pay from those 2 million or from that onwards, as long as we have over 3 million. Also, a point that I wanted to mention, because sometimes it gets forgotten, is the common reporting standards. This is very important to know and to keep in mind, because since, I would say, probably 2016, most of the countries signed an agreement insofar as any financial institution is able to check between countries what do we have as taxpayers. So, for example, if somebody come to live in Spain and come from Iceland and is located here now, and you have in your bank account 100,000, for example, euros, and you haven't declared them more than 12, but for some reason you make some transfers and you are living off your savings, of course, and that money is being within an Iceland bank, they could be requesting that information to your financial institution back in Iceland, and therefore they will know that you have your bank account with that amount of money, because that's the common reporting standard that most of the countries, 188 countries, signed back at the time. So unless you live in Iran or Uzbekistan or Venezuela, probably that information wouldn't get sent. But other than that, most of the countries have gone to that agreement. So please bear in mind that by disclosing the information, you are saving for any unnecessary taxes or any fees or any penalties that the tax authorities here in Spain can impose you. So by not knowing our regulation here in Spain when you are coming to live here, it doesn't exempt you, take out of the equation of being liable for those taxes. So get financial advice, proper tax advice, financial advice, whenever you are either planning, which is the best status, or you're already here. You are always in time, because Hacienda, tax authorities here, are always looking at us somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. That's all very clear. Thanks very much for that. And I'm just going to say good morning to Chris Hardman, who's joined us. He says good morning to you too. And Yogi, good morning to you. And yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday too. And Jed Tierney. Are you bringing Sean over with you, Yogi? It'll be lovely to see him as well. Okay, so just before we move on, I have some really related information for my lovely watchers. If you're moving money between countries at any time in the future, maybe you're moving to a new country, like moving to Spain, or buying a house here, you'll want to make sure you're making the most of your money and you want to transfer it safely without horrible bank charges. And you may have noticed that the exchange rates have seen quite a lot of movement in the last few weeks, not least because of the elections, I think. Straight after the US election result, there was a big move on the US dollar against the euro. So today is a very good day to find the special link below that we have to enjoy a free account and advice from our other lovely friends at Smart Currency Exchange, whom I recommend. But promise me you'll use that link below to get in touch with them, because that supports YouTooSpain at no extra cost to you at all. It's a win-win-win with the cherry on top. Where's that thing gone? There it is. Lovely. So before, we'll talk about briefly again about the US election and the UK budget in a moment, but let's have the interest rate forecasts, shall we? Take it away, and I'll get the logo up on screen. But carry on, Lucia. Tell us what you know about this.
Of course. In regards to interest rates, so we have seen for the past couple of years that interest rates were increasing just to try to take under control inflation, the inflation issue that we have been having for some time. And of course, they started, central governments started to increase those rates quite quickly in order to get that under control, which I have to say that it's making some effect. So we can see that so far. So this year, so far, the central governments have started to decrease on 0.25 basic points, 0.5 in others, because we need to still go under or towards the 2% target for inflation. Predictions are that interest rates will keep on decreasing, not as quick as quick as it's been done recently with 0.5 and also in the European Union. So we have a forecast before the end of the year that the European Union will decrease again rates by 0.25, that the UK potentially will decrease by 0.25 as well, and the US as well. So currently, as they stand, UK and US are very closely, so it's around 4.75%, and the European Union's 3.40. My recommendation here, so it depends on whether I'm talking to somebody that has a mortgage or somebody that is living off savings. So for somebody that has a mortgage, that's very good news. So you are going to have a bit of a decrease within your current payment, even more if you are on interest only. And also for renegotiate any rate that you are coming up now. So that would be a good moment for you. For somebody that is living off savings, my recommendation here would be to try to tie up any deposit that is for medium term, I would say, between 3 and 5 years, because rates are decreasing. And any rates that we get from our providers, they decrease every 2 weeks or on a weekly basis. So if we tie up something, an investment that we know that we are going to be living off the following 3-4 years, then we know that that rate is going to be fixed for that period and wouldn't affect any other decrease on general rates that we will have within the European Union or any other market. So please bear that in mind and just ask for any consultation here if you want to find out how you can accommodate your savings for that period of time.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Lovely. And we have a question from Ben Evans. Good morning, Ben. Is it possible to have a joint bank account with your married partner and have €2 million and avoid the wealth tax? Have $1 million each. Does that work?
Well, that's per person. So if that amount of money of your wealth belongs to both of you, we need to look at individual ownings. So that will be one-on-one, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you won't be under the wealth tax, because we look at the taxes from the individual point of view.
Well, that's very good news.
With 720, the same happened with everything. So if that's a joint account or a joint investment or a joint property, we need to divide that via to our own ownings. So it's 50-50 if that's a married couple, essentially.
I bet you're glad about that, Ben. There we go. Right, let's move swiftly on. It's time for the donkey and the elephant to appear. Let's get them up on screen. I'm not sure whether that's the donkey kicking the elephant or the elephant kicking the donkey. But So, everyone, you may have noticed something about an election in America. It was on the news occasionally, just for a few minutes. I think it's probably not important, but let's have a chat about the impact of the election result. So, apart from a lot of golf from the incoming president, what can we expect to see, Lucia?
Well, we all know the results. We all know what happened. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm just going to go to straight onto the market's impact and what we have seen this week and what we think. Of course, we don't have the crystal ball, but something that we think, and based on previous history that we already had during 4 years in the past. So we kind of have some highlights here. So I have some notes, if I may. So let me look down a bit, not to miss anything and not to say anything that is incorrect, if I may. So since the elections this week on Tuesday, markets and mainly developed markets have reacted positively because of the result. The dollar index, as you mentioned before, with smart currency, it has had a change, a move, and was moving higher, the dollar. The thing is that there are some fears in regards to a higher inflation from a deficit spending. So that will drive, potentially, again, we don't know exactly 100%, but that will drive into a bit of volatility into the markets, because the Federal Reserve will need to probably stop a bit by cutting rates, not to ease too much the spending and keep under control inflation. So we are going to be seeing some interesting changes from now till the end of the year, I would say. So in a few weeks, we are going to know more or less what they will do with the rate cuts. But those are the predictions here. In regards to the equity market, the S&P and the Dow Jones reacted, were in green since the beginning. But again, the emerging markets or the Chinese market and also the European Union market, some of the main indices got affected straight away after the election during that day, simply because of the manufacturers. So they are tariffs that they will be imposing, or that's been said, that in the US they will impose some tariffs to certain sectors. So therefore it has an impact, and a straight imminent impact onto those industries, unfortunately. With what has been also said since Trump won is that they will be cutting corporate taxes rates. They will be doing some deregulation on certain laws and regulations that were in place for previous 4 years. So, and also the tariffs that I said. So that is going to bring, again, interesting time from the market's point of view, insofar as we will see green signals of increase within the main indices and markets. But we need to be careful so not to go straight back into the US market, because we have green lights everywhere, because we need to keep in mind that there will be volatility, and we are on early days since the election. So it's been only 4 days, I think, to hold back and sit down and see what is going to be happening. So the recommendation is just...
It's also a very unusual situation in America. They have the election and then they don't become president until January. So
Correct. So again, it's going to be interesting to look towards the end of the year, our end of tax year. Once again, everything gets mixed up, but up until January is when that effectively happened. But so far we can see that volatility will be in place. So recommendation here, as always, to have a proper diversification, be well diversified, and not to be overexposed into any sector or any market. and I think we will be on our winning side on that point, from that point of view, being an investor. So pretty much that's what I could say, not going into any names or anything else from the elections point of view. So I believe I will be giving some updates and more specific updates on my next show, I would say, in regards to how markets reacted and how the tariffs impacted the rest of the world.
The first 100 days is going to be interesting. The first 100 days of a new presidency, especially with Trump having control over the House of Representatives, both houses, the Senate as well.
The Senate,
so it's going to make decision making a lot easier for him, I think. So things will move a lot faster. But there we go. We'll see what happens on your next show for that. That was lovely. So let's move on to the UK budget. We have a much more sedate picture for that one. Just some coins. Here we go. And there they are, including all of the new coins as well there that I've not seen in person yet. There we go. So the UK had its budget recently, and it was a different budget from what you'd expect a Labour government to announce, but because of the deficit really that they're trying to cover. So that's made you very busy since the budget, hasn't it? So tell us why and give us the highlights.
Of course. So yeah, it's been interesting last couple of weeks from the financial sector point of view. And mainly us located in Spain and working with the international market. And I have to say that most UK expats that come to live here in Spain. If I may, Andrew, I would like to mention that Black Tower has created a guide to the budget. So feel free to either request it via YouTooSpain or myself directly, so I can email that to anyone that is interested. It's a brief guide that it's been created for, at least to have the highlights, to know what has been said, because of course to go in depth into every single point is very, very complicated, but at least, to have the general idea. And I'm not here to cover the UK budget, of course, so just a couple of highlights that happened recently and that affected, or that we need to be a bit more careful when advising expats here in Spain, people that are planning to move to Spain from the UK. Being mainly the increase on capital gains tax in the UK, that will be in place, and also the QROPs. So within the QROPs, which is your ability to move your UK pension to the EU world, as long as you are planning to retire within the EU or the EEA, better to say, more precise. That has been a limit or a stop, pretty much, on that. On the 30th of October, which was last Wednesday, I believe, it was said that anybody that is wanting to move their UK pension to a qualifying recognized overseas pension scheme, which is the QROPs, they have a deadline of April 2025. That has to happen before the end of before April next year, and you would have to show, or you would have to be in process already. So for somebody that now is thinking about moving their pension, or what's that, Lucia, what is the QROPs? I didn't know about that. That is gone. So it's something that we cannot advise on. I mean, it's gone because we are liable of somebody that is requesting that transfer to happen from the UK to an overseas scheme is liable for an overseas transfer charge of 25%, of course. From my point of view, I'm not going to advise anybody to take X amount of money from the UK, pay 25% tax charge, and then invest it elsewhere. That's not going to happen, and that is financially inviable. So it's something that has stopped from now on. So for somebody that was thinking of moving pension overseas from the UK, unless you have requested already those documentation to your scheme in the UK, that window is closed already. So as I said, we've been a bit busy trying to readjust our advice with people that has been planning to move to Spain or are already here. So planning how to go about that. What we can do now is the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. So the main thing is, of course, that was an ability that we had since we no longer living in the UK, but now we need to adjust. So any changes, I'm always positive or try to be positive, of course. So any changes are for good. And we need to look into that, see what has been happening, what we can do, and there are always solutions. So the only thing that doesn't have a solution is death. Other than that, anything can be solved. And working together with qualified people and regulated people that know what they are doing and are on the top of latest changes, then you will be fine. Going into a bit more depth onto those pensions, because that's a big topic that since last week it's been going around on social media. I had some inquiries from people that have read things on Facebook. Please don't take Facebook or any social media as the law, and things that are happening not always are true. I have to say that please take them as a read. Something to read, but go onto the official websites. I always send the official links from the HMRC or from the Spanish tax authorities, which is the AEAT.es. That's the website from Hacienda, Agencia Estatal Tributaria. So that's why it's those syllabus there. In order to get how things stand, how things are, because you are going to be taxed or not according to those informations, not on Facebook or my friend downstairs or the neighbor on the other side. Sorry to mention that, but I've heard throughout my career some comments that, of course, we are damaging the information and misleading information here. From coming back to the pension point of view, as I said, now what happened is mainly with the UK, and we are now talking about just the UK. Somebody that is planning or is here already in Spain and used to have a financial advisor in the UK, their financial advisor is no longer able to provide advice, giving financial advice or advice. Because we are within the EU with different regulations, with different regulators. Our tax system here in Spain specifically, it's very complicated. They try and they like to make it to be very complicated. So I encourage you to look for somebody that is a specialist within this field. So you are coming to Spain, you live in here, get proper financial advice, because your pension can be, you are not going to be loan, is not going to be disinvested or anything like that. We are able to access that and then to move that or to make that being regulated within the European Union. So they are ways forward there. Again, talking to adequate and accurate people on the field always. There has been changes with the pensions. There have been changes with the capital gains. There have been changes with inheritance tax, how that affected from the pensions point of view as well. So feel free, again, to request the guide if you like, and if you have a specific question on something that you think that may affect you and is a complete change from what it was prior to the budget, and until that is going to be in place, more than happy to reply to your request individually. So not to go through the whole points, because we will need like a month program altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And those details, if you want to get in touch with Lucia, have a look in the video description below. That's where you'll find the email address and the website, I think, as well. Great. So that's all about, I think we'll say that's all about the UK budget for now. Jed has a question. Are private school fees exempt of VAT in Spain? That's an interesting one.
No.
What do you think? No?
I know that is was within the budget in the UK. That now is that's one of the news here, but you have to pay VAT. Yes, it's a normal fee that it's a fee that you agree, and that goes with your VAT.
Okay, simple answer to a question. That's great. So just before we go on, it's time for your half-time reminder of all of the services available to you as a YouTooSpain follower. And while you're watching that, take a moment to subscribe. It's very quick, costs you nothing, and it helps you to help us and help everybody. So take it away, lads. Here we go. Are you getting the most out of YouTooSpain? Yes, no, I don't know. Did you know that apart from these Saturday morning live shows with expert guests, or expats with really exciting stories to tell, it's not the bloody Graham Norton show. There are videos every Wednesday evening, packed with all the information you need, so we can move to Spain and enjoy living here. Without paying tax? No, Colonel, that's illegal. Naughty boy. Bah! You can find out how to navigate the bureaucracy successfully. How do I find the videos, darling? Just subscribe to the YouTube channel. And click on the bell, you useless cunt. Colonel, there's also a gorgeous YouTooSpain website full of articles, links and everything you need. YouTooSpain.com. And if you want to say thank you to YouTooSpain for all of the valuable information, or if you've been entertained, you can support Skatz with a donation. He looks like he needs a support. The poor bugger can't even stand up. If he was a horse, I'd shoot him. Colonel! The Colonel's not a very nice man. It's all right. He's just a two-dimensional stereotype. Aren't we all, sweetie? I'm not. Brexit! And how do I support YouTooSpain? Use the QR code in the corner! Or you can find it in the SuperLink in the video description below. Where? In the video description, you bloody idiot. I've warned you, Colonel. I'll send you back to the nunnery. There! It's below the video title. Down there. It says, read more. That's right. Just click or tap on that and lots more text appears. There's so much more down below. And don't forget the Facebook page and the YouTooSpain community group, darling, where you can talk to other people just like you. Oh, there's no one like me, sweetie. Thank goodness. Is that everything? There's a guest waiting to tell me things. Oh, I do like things. Where's Doogie Dog? I'm stuck behind a wall. Oh, sorry, Doogie. Follow my voice. Thank you, Master. Get back to the show. I need to go and punch some servants. Oh, Colonel. Back to Skatz in the studio. Thank you, lads. That was very informative. So let's get back to today's topic, shall we? Now, we talk a lot about planning ahead on this show, especially when it comes to visas, but how important is it when planning your finances, Lucia?
Well, the more you plan, the better. You are not going to be bad off by planning or starting in advance. There is not a setup period that I recommend for you to start digging out on information in Spain or how you will be affected by the taxes here or how your tax situation, because affected sounds like very, very bad. No, we are not that bad in Spain. Or how we are going to be from a tax position here in Spain, as well as with investments. So planning in advance is key. The more information you have, bearing in mind our tax year always here in Spain, that can make a huge difference if you are trying to take advantage of your tax situation in your home country. Make sure that you don't become tax resident here in Spain while you are doing that elsewhere. So, for example, if somebody was selling a property, main residency in your home country, if you were taking a tax-free your pension, if you were encashing some, you have a tax advantage elsewhere. If you should you become tax resident this year in Spain, because you've been over the 6 months period, the 183 days, then that such advantage didn't take place in the end, because you are ending up not paying taxes in your home country, but you will be liable for taxes in Spain. So please try to work out the number of days that this year, for example, you've been here, or the number of, in order to try to maximize your tax advantages in your home country and also in Spain. My job, or what I've been doing pretty much since the beginning of my career, is just to mention and to explain how things work here, what advantages, or to try to understand, because I don't know every single jurisdiction around the world. I'm very familiar with the UK because that's my main industry, together with Spain, and also the European Union. But other than that, I need to study them, or to work with your tax advisor there. By taking those tax advantages and making the most out of those, then I'm able to drive you to maximize your benefit and profits that you can be taking advantage of here in Spain. I choose to take that quote here because I think that's absolutely true. By failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. So it's never too much of information, as long as it's adequate and from the official sites, and not a Facebook comment or link or a comment from somebody that is not regulated. Please be careful with that.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if Benjamin Franklin would regulate it. Regulated by himself, probably. There we go. Excellent. Thank you for that, Lucia. And we have 3 more little topics to cover in this show, so we'll be brief about those. We don't want to go too much over the hour. And first of all, we mentioned Spanish wills earlier, but why is it important to have a Spanish will in place?
First of all, it's because you are living now in another country. We are not familiar with bureaucracy here. We don't know how that would be affecting my beneficiaries, and also the language barrier. So I always recommend, it's not mandatory, but as long as you are coming to live in Spain and you are going to have an asset here, such as a property, account, or investment located in Spain, that centration in Madrid, official place where it has to be online registered, and something happens, should something happen to you in the future, then of course there is always that tick box done already. For arranging that, you need to go to the notary, not in an office, not elsewhere. The notary is the person that is allowed to write your Spanish will. It's not a solicitor, it's not a financial advisor, it's the notary. We help to create, in according to your wishes, that will, and we accompany people to the notary simply because of the language barrier, once again, and we need to make sure that the translation is correct in Spanish and your home, your main language, and that it doesn't cost much, and it's recommended. Just to save bureaucracy and any issue.
Absolutely. Yeah, I found it fairly easy. I took Chris with me just to translate between me and the notary, and yeah, it was quite an easy process, not very expensive, and very well worth doing.
Correct. Yes. Very few questions that you need to reply to complete, and that's it. I can send you the guide for that if somebody's interested.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So, our penultimate topic then is fees. What impact do they have on your investments and your pension?
Yeah, that would be good to have the little graph that I sent to you, because that's something that I created recently to a client that had that was an investment. So just to compare, because we tend to look at our own investments or pensions by doing well or bad, or it's not doing much, or it's doing very, or yielding very low. So here, important is that we need to compare what the markets are doing in general, bearing in mind volatility and all the information that I given before. But more importantly would be the fees that are involved within that. So by law, we have the obligation to disclose every single fee we are charging ourselves, and any single fee that you are paying within the funds that you are invested. By having the adequate funds within your investment could make a big difference. So you can see there, that was a very radical a comparison with that client. That's why I take that picture, that graph usually with me, because even me, I got very impacted with the difference between what that person was having currently and what I would have had done with the investment returns by investing in funds that were charging less fees, less annual management charge, and that is the difference. I'm not talking about doubling, duplicating returns or anything like that, but you can see probably in your specific case not going to be that big difference, but there are differences. As I said, that's one of my jobs to analyze what you currently have in regards to investment, to look and to dig into every single fee that you are paying, and then try to look for something that is going to be working in exactly the same way, but with less fees implications there.
Great. So, as we've said before, if you need further explanation of that or to deal with your specific case, get in touch with Lucia and you can get that sorted. So finally, for today's show, why is it important to speak to a qualified financial advisor?
I think I've been covering that question, I think, throughout the show. Sorry, I don't keep sometimes my questions in order, because in the end you need to mention that, and that's because of feedback that I have on a daily basis talking to my clients. If I had something, or my recent ones have been my UK financial advisor have sent to me that link or the other link, and it's something that is not official. It comes from a newspaper, of course, an official newspaper, but that's not the official website. Once again, our official website here is the AEAT.es. That's the website for Hacienda. That is in Spanish and English, and that is where you need to look for any information. It is complicated because, as I said, our tax system is not straightforward, but we manage and we deal with that. So again, qualified people, regulated people. I have seen, not recently, but beginning of the year, a couple of situations where financial advisors didn't have regulations in the European Union, and therefore you are not able to place any business or to do anything with that, because believe me, the amount of compliance process that we need to go through in order to get everything done and properly arranged for our client is very, very lengthy. So we are working with people's money, with people's future. So make sure that who you're talking to is the right person.
And take off your old glasses, it says. They're very like my glasses, actually. Got the tortoise shell there. I've seen a lot of them since I got these ones.
Yeah,
Every time somebody comes on the screen, they're always wearing tortoiseshell glasses. I was watching the Netflix series Only Murders in the Building, which is huge, and two of the main characters have got glasses exactly the same as mine. So there you go. That's so I like that picture. There we go. So is there any advice before we say goodbye? Let me just ask for anybody who's on the live chat, if you have any more questions, you've got a 23-second delay on there before they appear on the screen here. So ask those questions now, and we'll try to answer them before the end of the show. But if unfortunately we don't get to them by the end of the show, we'll try and ask them below the video in the comments, and we'll come back to you as soon as we can. So yeah, anything else to say, Lucia, while we're waiting for that?
Yes, of course, always. I have always something to say in regards to investments and regulations. Be diversified within your investments. If you are in that situation with pension or general investment, as diversified as possible, looking into the charges and costs. All the a big impact, as I have shown before. Also, the proper advice there from somebody that is qualified and regulated. There is always a way forward on your situation, on anyone's situation. I haven't dealt with anything, or I haven't seen anything that we could not get right from the Spanish point of view. So we need to put on our new glasses and look everything from the Spanish point of view at all the time. There is always a solution to minimize taxes. We are not here avoiding or evading or anywhere like that, because of course we are here in Spain, and that's the tax. Unfortunate to pay tax where we live, because in the end we get other services to us back. So that's how it is in every single country. But of course, they are solutions, vehicles to minimize and to keep them minimum, or as minimum as possible, in order to be able to enjoy more our money, or make the most out of our money. So that's what I can offer, and that's what I can advise, to always try to arrange and to get our tax year accordingly to what we have planned to pay and to declare for the tax authorities, and take action, because we are approaching the end of the year. So just bear in mind that the 31st of December is the end of the tax year, and yeah, we still have time to have some conversations.
Brilliant. Great. We've not had any more questions that I can see in the live chat, and unfortunately that's all we have time for this week. It's been lovely. Oh, Chris Hardman says, thank you, Lucia and Skatz. Very informative as always. Thanks. I love your comments. Everybody put a thank you in there, and click the like button as well, and subscribe if you haven't already. I know normally it's our subscribers that appear on the live chat anyway, but if you haven't done that already, do click on it. We've just gone over the 9,000 subscribers, so I'm very pleased about that.
Well done.
And 800,000 views, so 800,000 individual watches of videos. So that's huge, and I wouldn't have dreamed of it when I started this channel. So thank you to all of you, and I'll tell you in a moment who your special guest will be next week if you don't know already. But first, let's give Lucia a big virtual hug and a kiss and say goodbye for now. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. We'll see you again in about 3 months' time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And there we go. So who do I have on the show next week? Well, of course, you know, if you're a regular watcher, every 2 weeks, it's Chris from Upsticks with the regular fortnightly format. These new teeth, I still haven't got used to them. And that's where we answer all of your questions, any questions you have. And we also have a special feature about the most important issue of the week. And of course, we always do a debate, an argument about something important or hilarious, or usually both. And you can ask questions in advance on our Facebook page or the Facebook group. Join the Facebook group where you can meet other people just like you, and you'll get answers on there. And next week's show, we're, yes, looking forward to that. I'm not sure exactly what the topic is, but I will announce that during the week on Facebook. So thanks to all of you for joining us and leaving comments and hitting the like button and supporting us with donations up there and memberships. You can do a membership down there somewhere on the screen. There's a little $sign appropriate. And yes, thank you for that. It's very much appreciated. I'll see you either on the midweek video or live on Saturday mornings, or even on my Friday video diary on Still Alive. And the Saturday mornings, of course, is at our regular time of 9 o'clock in the morning if you're in the UK or Ireland or Portugal, or 10 o'clock in the morning if you're in Spain or Central Europe. Or I think it's about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning on the east coast of the USA. So hello if anybody's watching at that time in the morning in the US. Normally our US viewers just watch the video back afterwards. One day we'll do a show for us in the evening, which will be in the morning for you, and that'll be handy. Then we can speak to you live as well. So that's all for this week. Somebody pass around the investment cookies, and that's a peace and love from me, peas and fluff. And here's one final message from all of the voices in my head at YouTooSpain. Take it away, lads. Bye bye for now. Bye. Goodbye. Toodaloo. Peace and love. Peas and fluff. Oi oi. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. One more cosmic dance? All right then. Look, Mum, I'm dancing. Oh, I'm all a quiver. Let's dance.